Hello everyone, glad to have you on board again, and any new people who have come across us, you're very welcome to view and get in the swing of things, I call it. Well, we've come through Waters Meeting on the Bridgewater, and we're going to adventure on through Stretford into Sale and then on to Lymm. Quite a long cruise, but even though the weather wasn't at its best, we totally enjoyed ourselves, and we'd like you to come along with us now, and it should be quite enjoyable. So I'll stop talking and let's get going.
All aboard!
Very soon we'll be back on the long straight going through Sale. You think it's not going to take long, but it ends up taking an hour and a half to do that stretch, and it's more or less a straight line. God, I hate graffiti, absolutely. Even if it looks good, I just hate graffiti on walls, on canal walls. It's becoming an epidemic, absolutely is. Sometimes when the weather's not too good and you're not in the nicest of places, it can feel quite bleak. And to be honest, this does at the moment. But we always keep a positive slant on things. Right. The one thing we're quite lucky with when we're coming through all these urban places, you know, the noise is constant, but thankfully we know quiet locations for overnight stops. I couldn't be, you know, I couldn't be going to sleep with all these constant noises, so at least we know some good mooring spots. That's important, that. Some people feel cold differently than others. I've got a t-shirt on, I've got a fleece underneath, I've got my padded jacket to keep me nice and warm, and then just those who was doing magnet fishing who we've just gone past, we've got the lady in the in a parka and all that, and then next to her sat down in a vest. Temperature variations affect people differently, that's for certain. The towpaths of sail. Always hive of activity, always something going on. With this being a self-centering tiller and rudder, it's that straight this. I think I could just leave it and go and sit at the front and just leave it ticking along, because there's definitely no curves on the Bridgewater Canal through sail, straight as a die. I think we've decided today we're going to have an exceptionally long cruise. If the rain stays off and it doesn't belt down, I think we'll just continue and see where we end up later today. It could end up being, what, 7, could be 9 hours today. Then again, it could be 5. We'll see what's what. But I suspect it'll be the longer part. I think we'll be going for quite a bit. It is quite an unusual stretch of canal along this sail, you know, the bit across sail. You've got some unusual buildings and all the historic stuff's being knocked down and vanishing very, very quickly now, which is a shame, but there's not much left, that's for certain. Not very long now, and we'll be coming out of sail and going back into some of the greenery, rather than all the housing and the factories. Certainly a different experience up this part of the Bridgewater, but in its own way it's actually quite enjoyable. Would I prefer it than countryside? No, definitely wouldn't, but something what's a change. This is what this is, and I've really enjoyed it, and I think Bernadette has as well. I know I said it before, but they do like ships backing into the canal, cruise ships. Very unusual design of apartments them, or flats, whichever you call it. I wonder if this will be here next time we come past. I've took some great pictures years ago of that building. Printing works. Wonder if it's gone completely next time we come. Yeah, history doesn't take long to be destroyed. Definitely doesn't. What a very wet day we're having. When we set out, we had a quick look at the weather forecast, and it said for the area we're in, no rain all day. Yeah, we had quite a serious incident here a few years ago. Certainly did. And we pulled over to the right, and we took ages to get all the rubbish off our prop. Just collected a lot of material, canvas and that, and we was cutting it off for ages. So we try to stay in the middle round here in the hope that we don't get anything trapped, you know, catching stuff and that, trapped round the prop or wrapped round the prop, whichever you want to call it. And we also take our, you know, take the prop and the engine, take the speed off and drift through the tunnels, my goodness Keith, come on, through the bridges. Because that's the favourite part, that, for people to drop stuff. We're now going over the Bollin Aqueduct. Doesn't look like the normal aqueducts what we go over, like Pontysilty, or where can you think, Chirk Aqueduct. They look, it looks quite different. The simple thing is, this one's designed for wide beam proportions, so it's certainly a lot wider, and it's a curve as well. But at the end of the day, it's still an aqueduct. Bernadette's steering, and I'm sat inside for a bit, just in the engine room, directly on top of the engine, so it could feel a little bit, or sound should I say, a little bit noisier than normal, but I'm a matter of inches off the top of the engine. Certainly been a day of different weather.
Windy.
Yes, it is now. It's extremely windy. So we are just keeping going for now, seeing if we can get to Lymm and more up there this evening. 50-50, because we're quite late today. But you never know, we might just about squeeze in somewhere. Fingers crossed anyway. As we continued our travels up north on the Bridgewater toward Boothtown, we couldn't believe how many sunken boats we saw. You know, they're people's pride and joy, and it's always sad to see them sat on the bottom. And we'll show you some footage which shows you all that, what it looks like. And after that, we'll show you what we can describe as a good news story. So have a look and see what you think. Yeah, that's a pity. That doesn't look in bad condition. Something dramatic's happened there. That one will be gone for good, definitely. Never to be floating along again. Very sad. The wind's absolutely howling now. It's just started up from nowhere. You know, it's been quite breezy, but now it's now almost becoming gale force from across the fields. Very soon we should be, well, we not should be, very soon we'll be back at Lymm. We've certainly had a long day today, come from Boothtown. We'll see if we have a mooring when we get there. We might have a chance, because it's not weekend, so 50-50. we'll be at the centre of Lymm very soon, keeping our fingers crossed. What a day. High winds, driving rain, and just a touch of sun. That's what you get when you're boating. Anything can happen. Times have certainly changed, certainly have. We got to Lymm late afternoon, not expecting a mooring, but we had a choice of 3. So here we are, moored up, and we'll go and sample a few beers later on. I might get a Chinese as well.